Welcome back to Can You Please Just Listen? This is Megan.
Hi.
I'm Jesse. We're going to read a book. As usual, I'm not going to read because Nancy Drew time.
Nancy Drew time.
And this is episode 18.
18.
Chapter 9 of Nancy Drew, which is
I'm just gonna
exciting.
keep repeating you, apparently.
This is a little, it's a call and response thing. It's like a fun concert.
Echo, 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 echo.
Do you remember what happened last time? It was a bummer, right? Was it a bummer one?
Is a discouraging,
Oh, that's right. That was the title, A Discouraging Day.
discouraging day.
She drove all around looking at
Yeah,
relatives.
she tracked down all the relatives.
Yeah.
And it was still a discouraging day for some reason. And it turned out to be good, but
Yeah, she had a little glimmer of hope.
she was trying to find the
Philosopher's Stone.
the lady. No, Abigail.
Oh, the old lady
the
Abigail.
last lady.
Mhm.
She talked to the sisters and the brothers. Or the aunts and uncles, or
Yeah.
what,
See, Dr.
whatever.
Bunch, they were
the
useless. And
spinsters
this
and
woman,
the dudes.
she's the one.
But her mind is going, and they don't know how
fine.
useful she's gonna be. So
I bet you that's just a rumor. She's good to go.
probably
What's the title?
vital information.
I mean, come on. With a title like that?
Again, roller coasters. High. So vital
We are-
information.
we're-
Chances are something
We're here right
good's
now.
gonna happen.
We're hoping to get somewhere.
Last
The
week,
shelf. So we're
or
going the shelf.
two weeks ago, with the discouraging day, is
We were down there.
yeah.
And that was sad for all of us. One of the dogs is currently resting his head on a piece of wood. He took it off.
Oh.
He's fine.
Also, we mentioned this in
Oh,
our
yeah. The shelves are bare.
last episode, but we are currently packing up some things, packing up some books, moving some things, and preparing to paint this wall. So
This is
our
going to
shelves.
change. That's going to be another color.
our shelves are a little bare right now.
It's
So
pretty sad.
imagine all the books that we had here and all
yeah,
the fun
yeah.
stuff that we had behind us.
Oh,
Now
imagine
you
the
just
fun.
have to look at us.
Focus in. Dial in. It's getting serious now. Let's get serious.
Okay.
I don't know.
Chapter 9. Vital information. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm so ready.
Okay. This must be the house. It certainly fits the description given me. As she spoke, Nancy Drew paused before a square, one-story frame building which stood dejectedly in the center of a yard overgrown with weeds and dandelions.
Yes.
Dandelions are weeds. Sorry.
Got him.
The cottage was sadly in need of paint, and pickets were missing from the sagging fence which enclosed it. A boardwalk which led to the front porch had begun to rot away and offered treacherous footing.
Goodness gracious, this place is run down.
This place looks deserted, but I'm sure Abigail Rowan must live here, Nancy assured herself as she made her way up the walk, gingerly avoiding loose boards which threatened to fly up at her.
Goodness, this is dangerous. This is very Scooby-Doo right now.
Early that morning, she had left River Heights in her final quest for information concerning the Crowley will. Nancy did not know exactly where Abigail Rowan lived, but she had taken the Westlake Road and had made inquiry along the way. Neighbors had assured her that she could not miss the place, as it was the most rundown house along the road,
Oh my goodness.
which is what our house felt like. We recently had our house
were.
repainted, and it felt like this. Not as decrepit because we don't
In the
have
ballpark.
It did look. It was more of like a white polka dotted, patchy.
We didn't have boards that are rotting out.
No,
There's not many.
we have a lot of concrete in the front, but it's weird, that house that no one wants to go visit on the road.
We still are, but it looks clean now.
No, it's pretty now.
It's pretty now. I like it.
It's pretty now. It's prettier.
Good enough.
All right. If Abigail can't help me, I'm at the end of my string, Nancy thought as she rapped on the front door. She really needs
She's
to...
rapping again?
She
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
really needs to be more positive.
She
Like-
bums me out.
Like, I need... Nancy's been one of my idols for as long as I can remember. But, like, rereading this is kind of like going back and watching Xena or watching Hercules.
Ooh.
Shows that you grew up with, and you're like, this is awesome! And
They
then you
don't
go
hold
back
up.
and, like, look at the graphics and, like, what happened. You're like, ooh.
You hope for like nice nostalgia, and instead it's just trash.
So we learned. I watched, I think, half an episode.
Of
You
Xena?
don't rewatch those.
No, you treasure the memories.
No, yeah. Murder, She Wrote is a good one to go back and rewatch.
Have you done that?
I have.
Okay.
I have some of the seasons on DVD.
I'm busy that day. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Murder, She Wrote is an excellent show. Anyways, there was no response to her knock. I know. I don't know what face he made, but I can sense it.
It was a good one.
And she rapped a second time.
Hip, hop, hippity, hoppity.
Hip to the hip, hop, hop. You don't stop. She was about to turn away in disappointment when a slight noise within the house attracted her attention. She was certain her rap had been heard. Also, this woman is old, correct?
Super old.
So, like,
And infirm.
give it a second.
Yeah, she's creaking around.
Who's there? A muffled voice called. If you're a peddler, I don't want anything.
That's amazing.
I'm not a peddler, Nancy called out reassuringly. Won't you
That's
let
what
me
a peddler would say.
Won't you let me in, please? No.
She's getting in.
But if you just said, I'm not a peddler, won't you let me in?
Not a peddler. Let me in.
There was a long silence, and then the quavering voice replied. Not quivering. Quavering voice replied. I can't open the door. I've hurt myself and can't walk.
Oh my goodness.
Nancy hesitated an instant and then pushed open the door. As she stepped into the dreary living room, she saw the pitiful figure on the couch. Abigail Rowan lay huddled under a ragged old shawl, her withering face drawn with pain.
Oh my God, this is horrible.
I am Nancy Drew, and I've come to help you, Miss Rowan. At the words, the old lady turned her head and regarded Nancy with a stare which was almost childlike. You've come to help me, she repeated unbelievingly. I didn't think anyone would ever trouble themselves about old Abigail again.
So I imagine the voice like this. Hello, child. Can you come to help me? That's how I'm picturing it in my head. You don't have to do that, but that's what I'm hearing.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's not. Yeah. No, she's not.
Come here, children. Like very
no
Wicked Witch.
strength.
No, yeah.
A very.
This is a wicked
old,
bummer, by the way.
Sad. I know. I'm not liking these books.
Sad stuff back in the
I
day.
love Nancy Drew, but man.
It lays bare the reality of the world we
depressing.
live in.
All right.
Life's tough.
Here, let me arrange the pillows for you. Gently, Nancy moved the old woman into a more comfortable position.
How hurt is she if you're getting dressed her pillows? Oh my God.
Yesterday, I fell down the cellar stairs.
Oh.
Abigail explained. I hurt my hip and sprained my ankle. I can't take a step without it nearly killing me.
Oh my goodness.
Haven't you had a doctor? Nancy asked in astonishment. There ain't been a soul come near me, Abigail sighed. I've just laid here on my bed and wondered how soon the end would come. I'm getting along in years now, and it won't be long.
What? She's just waiting for death on her couch after hurting herself. I hate this. I hate your books.
Nonsense, Nancy protested brusquely, for she saw that the old lady's trouble had made her morose. You have a good, happy many years yet before you. Can you walk at all? Are you certain your hip isn't broken? I can walk a little, but it hurts something awful when I do. Then your hip isn't broken, Nancy said in relief. Let me see your ankle.
It's a doctor? That's amazing.
I don't know. Let me see your ankle. Why, you don't even have it wrapped up. Where are the bandages? I'll fix it for you. There's a white rag in the closet in the kitchen, Abigail told her. Nancy shook her head sternly. A rag won't do. You have a bad sprain and it must be taken care of properly. You really should have a doctor. I can't afford it, Abigail murmured.
There it is.
Let me pay for it, Nancy begged. Abigail shook her head stubbornly. I'll not take charity. I'd rather die in my bed.
Oh, lady. First off, I respect that as someone who said he'd rather die than do a lot of things, but also take some help.
Well, if you're set on not having a doctor, I'm going to the nearest drugstore and get bandages and a number of other things, Nancy insisted.
Painkillers.
But before I go, I'll make you a cup of tea. There ain't any tea in the house. Then I'll get some. What else do you need?
Get it. This is the best version of Nancy right now. Taking charge. Getting after it.
I need most everything, but I can't afford to pay for it. You might get some tea and a loaf of bread. That's enough. You'll find money in a jar in the cupboard. It's not very much, but it's all I have. I'll be...
We're losing Megan from the sadness. This is horribly sad, and I don't know why they're doing this. We're going to do a brief relay baton pass off, and I'm going to read the sad stuff for Megan. Because pregnancy hormones be wild. All right. She's talking about needing most everything. I'll be back in a few minutes, Nancy promised. She stopped in the kitchen long enough to examine the cupboards. As she had suspected, they were practically empty. With the exception of a little flour and sugar and a cheap can of soup, there appeared to be nothing in the house to eat. Nancy discovered the money jar, but an investigation revealed that it contained less than $5. If you take this money, Nancy, she will hold me. It's probably every cent poor Abigail has in the world, she thought. Nancy did not take any money from the jar.
Go, Nancy.
Nancy! But quietly slipped out the back door. Hurrying to the roadster, which she had left at the roadside, she drove to the nearest store and ordered nearly $10 worth of groceries.
Gee.
Oh, she just doubled this woman's net worth with groceries.
Yeah. I hope she kind of put some. I hope she put some money in the jar.
She might just do a bunch of food, but that's good too. I like both. She wished that she might take a doctor back with her, but she realized that Abigail was set in her ways and would not accept the service since she could not pay for it. Before she returned to the cottage. Oh, it's a cottage.
It's a decrepit cottage.
It's a very decrepit cottage. Nancy stopped at the drugstore and purchased bandages and liniments. Liniments? That's a fun word. She carried the supplies into the house and quickly set about making Abigail more comfortable. She bathed the swollen ankle and bound it neatly with a clean bandage. It feels better already. Wait for it. It feels better already. Yeah. Abigail told her gratefully. I don't know what I'd have done if you hadn't come when you did. Just got southern, my bad. As soon as she had attended to the woman's immediate needs, Nancy built a fire in the kitchen range and put on the tea kettle.
And it goes back to what's your number on the Eliza Doolittle.
While she was waiting for the water to boil, she raised the drawn shades and permitted the warm sunshine to flood into the room. While she did this, she told Abigail Rowan something about herself. You ready?
Let me check.
All right. Baton back.
Trying this again. After the tea had steeped, she poured Abigail a cup and urged her to eat the nourishing meal she had prepared. She was gratified to observe that almost immediately the old woman became more cheerful and seemed to gain strength.
Are you telling me that food and sustenance are good for you? Is that what we're learning?
Most of the time, I think not just eating something. That's if she was eating at all.
She wasn't eating. She couldn't walk.
She sat up on the couch and appeared eager to talk with Nancy.
Ooh.
There ain't many folks that are willing to help an old woman. If Josiah Crowley had lived, things would have been different, she declared. It's strange that he didn't provide for you in his will, Nancy replied quietly. She did not wish to excite the old woman by telling her real mission, and yet she was eager to find out what Abigail knew about the missing will.
Tell her the mission. She's fine now.
Yeah. She hoped that she might lead her tactfully into a discussion of Josiah Crowley's affairs without raising hopes which might never be realized.
That's fair. You don't want to give this horribly broke woman a chance to be like, there's money coming?
Yeah. It's my opinion that Josiah did provide for me, Miss Rowan returned impressively. Many a time he said to me, Abigail, you'll never need to worry.
All right. I'm going to start at the beginning of this paragraph. It is my opinion that Josiah did provide for me, Miss Rowan returned impressively. Many a time he said to me, Abigail, you'll never need to worry. When I'm gone, you'll be well taken care of in my will. And then everything was left to the Tophams. Nancy encouraged her to proceed. That was according to the first will. But there was another one. I don't know what became of it. Are you sure there was another will? Nancy inquired, almost too eagerly, for Abigail looked at her rather sharply.
Are you sure there was another will? Nancy inquired almost too eagerly, for Abigail looked at her rather sharply. Of course I am. I'm as sure of it as I am that I'm sitting here. Why? I saw that will with my own eyes.
Ooh.
You saw it? Nancy gasped.
Oh boy, Nancy.
The old man nodded gravely. Mind, I didn't see what was in the will. One day Josiah came in when I was sitting in my rocking chair, and right off I noticed he had a piece of paper in his hand. Abigail, he said, I've made my will. I fooled them lawyers and wrote it myself.
Oh, Josiah, bud. There's a reason why lawyers write wills.
How long ago was that? Nancy asked quickly. Let me see. Abigail frowned thoughtfully. No.
Oh, Abigail frowned awfully?
Thoughtfully.
Oh, okay, that's much better.
Oh. No, I can't remember the exact date. It was about the time Josiah went to live with Richard and Cora. Well, to go on with what I was saying, when Josiah showed me the will, he seemed mighty tickled about it. Excuse me. Mind, he didn't show me what was inside, but he hinted that he'd done well by me.
It's a rough night for the podcast, folks. Bear with us.
Sorry. But Josiah, I said to him, are you sure it's legal to write it yourself? Of course it is, he said to me. A lawyer told me it was all right just so long as I had it witnessed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know... Oh, do you know who witnessed the will? Nancy broke in.
Please.
I was assuming that Abigail did, based off of him bringing it over to her, which is why I giggle a little bit. But
already. It's a problem.
No, I didn't ask him, and he didn't say.
Abigail.
He just went out of the room, chuckled in that funny way he had. Or chuckling in that funny way he had.
Dude sounds nuts.
Haven't you any idea what became of the will? Nancy asked hopefully. I reckon he hid it somewhere. That'd be like Josiah. But I remember he did say something about putting it where nobody... Quotes. Where nobody can get it unless they have legal authority. End quotes. So, I don't know what became of it. For all I know, he may have turned it over to a lawyer.
Probably not.
No. Are you certain that was all he said? Nancy inquired gently. She knew that Abigail had grown rather childish and that her memory was failing.
Wow.
Wow. It seems to me he did say something about what he was going to do with that will, but I just can't recollect.
Recollect? Yeah, that was right.
Recollect, yeah.
I dig it.
Abigail shook her head and sighed. Many a night I've laid awake trying to think what it was. That's sad. What'd he say? What'd he say? What'd he say? What'd he say?
Jeez, it's so many bummers.
It seemed to Nancy that as victory was almost within her grasp, had been snatched from her. My goodness, Nancy. Undoubtedly, Abigail Rowan held the secret of the Crowley will locked in her brain. And it was equally... Too bad they don't have a key.
Her old
lock
brain.
And key.
Oh, we need some magic. We need magic, Megan, which I was hoping about.
Sci-fi. And it was equally likely that she would never be able to recall the vital information. Unless in some unusual way her memory was given a particular stimulus.
Hit her with a stick in the head.
Please don't. Try to think, Nancy begged. That's the stimulus she definitely needs.
Think
you
better.
Can't remember something? Think.
Really stress him out.
Think harder. I can't remember, Nancy murmured hopelessly. I've tried and tried. She leaned against the cushions and closed her eyes as though the effort had exhausted her. At that very moment, the clock on the mantel chimed 3. Abigail Rowan's eyes fluttered open, and an odd expression passed over her face. For an instant, she stared straight before her, and then slowly turned her head and fastened her eyes on the clock.
Let's go. We jogged a memory. Fezzik, jog his memory.
That is the end of the chapter.
Oh, it's a clock. Hey, it's a clock.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good at this. Also, Megan told me like 4 weeks ago, and it's on the title. Oh, man.
Again,
What a
all
chapter.
guessing.
Holy moly.
All guessing.
A lot.
What a chapter, what an episode. Whew.
This isn't just a thing we do. This is serious. This is a big deal. No?
Mm-hmm.
This is a big deal. Megan agrees with me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, everyone,
Very
for
good,
that. We're both a little gassy
Oh, man.
from
I'm so
excitement. the thrill of the hunt, I would call it. I wouldn't go with that. That was a good ep.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. A lot happened. It's like we all want a lot to happen. That's all we want. Thank you, people, for what you do. Without you, there's no us.
That was weird. Jesse winked at the camera.
Oh yeah.
For those of you listening.
Wink. Follow us in real life. Come to our house.
No, please don't.
Follow us on Instagram,
There we go. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube,
Twitter,
Gmail.
not Facebook, because we're not like that. Also, I didn't think about it till right now.
Oh, we don't have Facebook, do we?
We should probably just have an account to save our name. We're gonna make a Facebook.
Yeah.
Take that, Zuck. That's everything, right? How do we feel? We feel
we
full,
don't want to start over.
full of emotion.
I feel better about that episode because obviously it was an upper episode.
Yep.
However, it
middle
was
downer.
a little bit of a cliffhanger, so I'm excited to see what the next.
Well, it was an overall upper with a strong downer in the middle
very strong downer
and a
in
great
the middle.
cliffhanger.
And a good cliffhanger.
It's like a really good drama television show. So we're doing.
Yeah.
We're putting on a drama for you people. That was aggressive. We're putting on drama for everyone.
Audio drama.
An audio drama. Audioscapes.
Although I am a fan of your voices.
Thank you. I'm gonna go pro.
You probably could.
Audiobooks. This is kind of an audiobook.
This is.
You could cut out all the little pieces and make it an audiobook.
Yes. Instead, it's our time to hang out with each other and
This is
share our
every
favorite
week. This
books
is when,
with
we
others.
hang out once a week on Fridays. We record on Friday nights. All right, we're gonna stop because this is already too much.
Yeah, thanks for bearing with us if you've made it to the end.
You made it to the end. You love this stuff. Thank you, everyone. Really do appreciate people who listen and watch because it's fun.
New episodes release on Tuesday.
Every Tuesday
Every Tuesday.
in the evening we release them, so Wednesday morning for your commute.
And then check out the little clips and snippets.
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 If you say it fast enough, no, snippets.
Snippets of behind the scenes or parts of the episode that you may have missed that we just want to recapture. The portions that we just sound stupid or funny or just are
The good stuff.
nonsensical
Highlight
stuff.
reel
Yeah,
for when we go pro.
bloopers.
Bloopers. All right. That's enough.
Adios.